And I'm going to pause us right there because I got some more stuff. Oh, you think it's bad now? Listen, it gets worse. Let me say, oh, okay, you're a male. Okay, all right, sir, no problem. I got you. Just email me in the morning or email me tonight. Or you can email me right now. Don't worry, I won't tell nobody. Because I believe in confidentiality. And or you call me either later on tonight after the show, or you call me in the morning. Okay? And I want to let you know I love you. All right? We love you. All right, baby. Okay, go ahead, Brother Brian. The floor is yours, sir. Come on with these covenants. Come on with these covenants. Come on, Brother Brian.
All right. I actually got a couple of my. I didn't even fool with the Adamic covenant because there's not really a whole lot on that one. But as you see, we see there's 7 covenants. It's the Adamic covenant, Noahide covenant, Abrahamic covenant, Palestinian covenant, Mosaic covenant, David covenant, New covenant.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then this is let's see. Come on. All right, this right here is the Noahic covenant. It's the promise. Promise is survival of the human race, unconditional. There's no penalty. As long as the earth remains, to provide for a God a family. Well, we'll start. Well, Genesis. It did show up. I was wondering if it was going to show up. And it says right here, and it says this is the Noah covenant, and God blessed Noah and his sons. Notice it's Noah and his sons, and said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, upon every bird of the heavens, upon everything that creepeth on the ground, and all the fish of the sea. Into your hand they're delivered. Every morning, things that shall every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. And as I give you the green plants, I give you everything. But you shall not eat the flesh of its life, that is its blood. And for your lifeblood, I will require a reckoning. For every beast, I will require it, and for man, from his fellow man, I will require a reckoning for the life of a man. Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed. For God made man in his own image, and you be fruitful and multiply, increase greatly on the earth and multiply it. Then God said to Noah and to his sons with him, Behold, I establish my covenant with you and your offspring. Notice, you and your offspring. Now, a lot of these Hebrew Israelites will say, well, when did he ever give a Gentile a covenant? Well, this is a covenant between Gentiles because there's only one family on earth after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the livestock, every beast of the earth.
Back up. You said something powerful. Wait a minute. It just hit me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just say that God made a covenant with Gentile?
Well, Noah and his family is the only people on earth. So, I mean, these would be considered the other nations. Of course,
Oh, brother, you got to sign in. That's why I keep doing that to you.
Yeah. And after you and every living creature that is with you, the birds, the livestock, every beast on earth, as many as you came out of the ark, it is for every beast of the earth. I establish my covenant with you that never again shall all be flesh be cut off by the waters of the flood, and never again shall there be flood destroy the earth. And God said, there is a sign of the covenant. Notice every time we come to this sign of a covenant.
I'm
going to sign in. Here we go.
Yep.
And that I make between me and you, and every living creature is with you, and all for future generations. I have set a bow. Notice the rainbow in the sky is not for the LGBTQ movement or whatever it is. It's not for that. It's for a sign on earth. It was God's symbol for not to flood the earth again. and it shall be a sign, a covenant between me and the earth. When I bring clouds over the earth and bow is seen in the clouds, I will remember my covenant that is between me and you and living creature and all flesh, and the waters shall never again become flood to destroy all flesh. When the bow is in the clouds, I will see it and remember that the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth. God said to Noah, this is the sign of the covenant, and I will establish between me and all flesh that is on earth. So notice we got one covenant, and it does not a conditional covenant. Basically, is God saying, I'm going to do this. And Noah just sits there and goes, okay. Well, the next covenant, as we see, Abraham. Now, Abraham covenant starts out with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God gives it to each one of them separately, not together, separately. All right. Then it says, inherit the land. Notice, inherit the promised land. All the nations of the earth would be blessed, not maybe be blessed, would be blessed. Unconditional. Descendants, circumcised, bless Israel and be blessed. All right. Penalty, cut off. All who curse Israel will be cursed. Permanent. Select a channel to show the blessings and curses of the world. All right, we'll go right here and we'll start and we'll go to Genesis 12 now.
All right.
All right. Now, of course, we know Abraham was called here. So it says, now the Lord says to Abraham, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house into your land that I will show you, and I will make you a great nation. So notice he says, I will make you a great nation. Notice that I will. It's not Abraham going to do it. It's going to be God's going to do it for him.
Right.
I will bless you and make your name great. So notice it's all about him still, so that you will be a blessing. And I will bless. Notice I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you. So notice it's talking about Abraham right here. Is you. I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. That's not a condition. This is God saying this will happen.
That's right.
Now we scroll over here to 15, because number one, this is the calling. He promised Abraham. This right here is Abraham being impatient and asking God, when are you going to do this? So notice, already promised. God, Abraham wants to know, what are you going to do? See, after these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in vision. Fear not, Abram, I am your shield. Your reward shall be great. But Abraham said, O Lord God, what will you give me? For I continue childless, and the heir of my house is Eleazar of Damascus. So notice, he is not being faithful right here. To be honest, he believes God, but he's asking questions. He wants a sign. And because we all understand that we're not perfect. We all fall short. Abraham is just one of us.
Right.
Childless, an heir of my house, Eleazar of Damascus. And Abraham said, behold, you have given me no offspring, and a member of my household will be my heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him. This man shall not be your heir, and your very own son shall be your heir. And he brought him outside and says, look towards heaven and number the stars. If you're able to number them, then he said to him, so shall your offspring be. And he believed the Lord and counted to him as righteousness. And we'll scroll down a little bit where he goes into this covenant. Notice it says right here, it says, He says, then he goes to this prophecy that they love to talk as the sun was going down, as a deep sleep fell on Abram. And behold, dreadful and great darkness fell upon him. Then the Lord said to Abraham, know for certain that your offspring will be sojourners in the land that is not theirs. So notice, they're sojourners first.
That's right.
And will be servants there, and they will be afflicted. So notice, there will be sojourners that is not theirs. And notice, and see the and will be servants. They will also be servants, and they will be afflicted. So wait a minute. So we're looking at all three things are lining up. They will have, they will be sojourners in the land that's not theirs. We know that happened. There will be servants there, and they will be afflicted 400 years. So 400 years they're going to be afflicted. But I will bring judgment on the nation, notice singular nation, that they will serve, and afterwards they shall come out with great possessions.
Before you proceed, I want to just drill something in on it again, hard. Now look at Brother Brian just broke it down for you. Excellent. With pure excellence. They're sojourners in a land, right? That is not theirs. The land of Canaan, the land of Egypt is not theirs, right? Now, what I end up getting a challenge on by Hebrew Israelites saying, but they weren't in Egypt 400 years, right? But it's adding the land of Canaan and the land of Egypt. The Septuagint shows this, okay? Even the Masoretic text from what Brother Brian, the KJV that he's reading from, is technically showing you this. It's adding up both of those times that they were in both of those lands. Those lands were not theirs, okay? And even though it was shown, some people say, well, the land of Canaan is really the land of Salem, which is Jerusalem today, right? But at that time, that land was still not theirs yet, okay? Read the text carefully, okay? So it's adding both of those lands together. This is how you get the 400 years, okay? Then it says, and will be. I'm glad he pointed that out. And will be servants there. So they're sojourning into a land that's not theirs. And they will be servants, and they will be afflicted. So it's letting you it's giving you three parts of what's going to go down in this particular area. So Hebrew Israelites, nice try, but it's not working. All right, brother. Just wanted to
then he goes in verse 14. So notice, these people that's going to bring them into servitude, but I will bring judgment on singular nation, because we know in the Atlantic slave trade, they was all nations that were involved in this slave trade, not just one. And to be honest, a majority of the slaves went to South America and not North America.
That's right.
There's only like 4% that actually went to America.
And highlight that sojourners by itself. Put it in a different color. Sojourn. They went in on their own free will. In the transatlantic slave trade, those people were what? Kidnapped.
Yep.
Two different scenarios. They don't match. Stop it.
Yep. And afterwards, they shall come out with great possessions. As for you, you shall go to your fathers in peace. You shall be buried in a good old age, and they shall come back here in the fourth generation, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet complete. So in 4 generations, they will come back to the land of Canaan.
There you go.
Thank you, Lala. She pointed that out the other day. All right. Then notice, here we go. Here's the covenant. When the sun had gone down, it was dark. Behold, a smoking pot and a flaming torch passed through between these pieces. All right. Notice, all right, these things. On that lay the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, to your offspring I give you this land of Egypt, and the great river, the Euphrates, the land of Canaanites, Hinnites, and Jebusites. So notice, Abraham, right here, a deep sleep fell on Abraham. So Abraham wasn't even aware of this covenant happening. Now watch this. Watch how the person who wrote Hebrews talks about this certain covenant. For when God made promise to Abraham, since he had no one greater by whom to swear, he swore by himself. So God swore by himself, saying, surely I will bless you and multiply you. So wait a minute, is all God's doing? And thus Abraham have patiently waited, obtained the promise. For people swear by something greater than themselves, and all their disputes and oath is a final confirmation. So when God desired to show more convincingly to the heirs of the promise the unchangeable character of his purpose, he guaranteed with an oath, so that two unchangeable things in which it is impossible for God to lie, we who have fled for the refuge might have strong encouragement to hold fast to the hope set before us. We have this as a sure and steadfast anchor of the soul, a hope that enters into the inner place behind the curtain. Notice it says behind the curtain. In the Old Testament, you couldn't go behind the curtain. Where Jesus has gone as a forerunner on our behalf and become the high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. So notice, now we have someone that's behind the curtain, which we couldn't do in the Old Testament. All right, let's go a little bit further. So notice we get to the Abrahamic covenant. Notice permanent purpose to select the channel to show the blessings and curses of God to the world. All right. We get to the Mosaic covenant. The Mosaic covenant is, we go to Exodus 19. The first time is given. So notice this covenant right here was given. It says right here, he says, Moses, we start out on the third moon after the people of Israel had gone out of the land of Egypt. On that day, they came into the land wilderness of Sinai. They set out from Rephidim and came into the wilderness of Sinai. They encamped in the wilderness. The Israelites encamped before the mountain. While Moses went up to God, the Lord called him to the mountain, saying, thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, and tell the people of Israel, you yourself have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on the eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Now, therefore, if, look, here's a big word, if you will obey my voice and keep my covenant. So wait a minute. He's already gave Abraham a promise. So this is extra covenant. You can't add to a covenant. This is a covenant between Israel and God only, not extension of Abraham, only. Says, you should be my treasured possession, all my peoples, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be me a kingdom of priests, as a holy nation. These are the words that you shall speak to the children of Israel. Notice that word if, letting them know, if you do these things, if you obey my voice and you keep my covenant, you will be a kingdom of priests. Well, it never happened. That's the problem. Most of the Hebrew Israelites, they love to quote this verse, talk about kingdom of priests, but at the end of the day, they forgot that they didn't do the thing. So Moses came.
Know why it didn't happen? Because they was disobedient. They didn't hearken unto God's voice as they had agreed to.
Nope.
So if you don't fulfill your part of the contract, then no, you don't get it. That's like me saying, Brother Brian, if you come here and you repair my bathroom, I'll give you $2,000. Brother Brian don't show up to do the job. So why would I give him the $2,000?
Yep. It's like G-Con when he talks about a covenant all the time. If me and you share and I sign a contract to repower your thing and I don't do everything that's in that contract, I am liable for that
That
contract.
contract. That's right.
Now,
That's right.
if you don't do your part in that contract, you're liable. That's
That's
how it
right.
works. You can't just say, "Well, God made a covenant, and we don't have to do nothing. We just act like we're gonna keep the laws." Well, that ain't what the covenant says.